Warning: this video contains mature content. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello Internet, Mike Bertolini here, and I'm playing Alone Against the Static. So this 1990s modern era solo campaign for Call of Cthulhu 7th edition. It was written by Brian Holland and just came out in 2023. So if you haven't played this game, I highly recommend it. Stop here. Don't spoil it for yourself. Alone Against the Static is a Call of Cthulhu scenario designed to be played by a single person, where you are both the keeper and player. You take on the role of either Alex or Charlie, a young couple who are vacationing at a secluded forest cabin in South Dakota's Black Hills. The collapse of their relationship and the creeping horror growing in the woods around them are the central focus of the adventure. Chaosium recommends this book for mature players. The adventure is set during the 1990s. Unfortunately for you, it takes place far out of signal range. Don't rely on modern conveniences to protect you from danger. Deadly forces to whom decades mean nothing are lurking in the shadowy woods around you. You can attempt this adventure as many times as you like. Each playthrough allows you to select different choices or even a different character. With every new path you take, you'll discover more secrets hidden away among the pines. Make good use of the tools at your disposal if you hope to survive this very unfortunate vacation. It's a good idea to remember that I'm going to be playing this first playthrough as Alex. And I'm going to be using Roll20 for all my dice rolls, my character sheet. Somewhere in the forgotten wilds, where pine needles carpet the forest floor, something stirs. Wind whips around the Black Hills to places where bears, rabbits, and birds never visit. The trees of the surrounding forest shiver. Beneath the moist earth, something wakes. Shifting from beneath the soil, it erupts in silence from the ground. Its emergence reverberates through the wild. Far off, a wolf howls in mourning for what will soon pass. It pulls itself from the darkness and breathes. It blinks. All right. Damn it, Charlie growls, struggling to fold an impractically large map over your car's steering wheel and avoid veering off-road into a tree at the same time. Can you just let me hold the map? You ask. No, I can do this just fine, Charlie says, and slams on the brakes to round another tight bend. It is late in the afternoon on a rural back road deep within the Black Hills of South Dakota. The sun is high, but the air is cold. You've seen nothing but pine trees and two narrow winding lanes for over an hour. The car's radio is getting weaker. It sputters out a Neil Diamond song laced with static. Now, I have to decide how I'm going to play Alex. And I'm playing her as, looking at her character. She's trying to she wants this relationship to survive. But she's not going to violate her own morals just to do it. If the relationship is not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So she's going to help Charlie. We're off of I-90, remember? You say. After a few minutes of sulking, Charlie mutters a response. I remember. You reach over. Here, let me help with that. No, Charlie yanks the map away. Alex, just let me, okay? You put your hands up defensively and roll your eyes. Charlie drives on determinedly for a few more minutes before spotting a tiny unpaved road cutting deeper into the forest. Charlie pulls onto it, and the two of you weave through the trees in silence. All right. Now I'm going to pull up Alex's character sheet. You can see right here. And let's see. To make a psychology roll. All right. So I rolled 72 versus 45. That is a failure. Charlie's sulking. His vacation is turning out exactly like you thought it would. Charlie always insists on driving, gets lost, and then refuses to ask for help. The weekend is shaping up to be a nightmare. Anyways, Charlie says, it's not for now. Charlie drives deeper into the forest. The little road you're on winds erratically, dipping up and down as it weaves between hills. Above you, thick gray clouds obscure the sunlight. Soon, the sky gets lost in the branches of pine trees. You feel the cold seeping in from outside. After a few minutes, a few more turns, and a few miles travel deeper into the forest, the sun sets. Your car's headlights cut into the darkness, revealing the road ahead just a few feet at a time. Eventually, the light shifts over the front of a cabin, reflecting off two windows on either side of a front door, which seems to stare back at you, ominously. The car stops and the headlights shut off. Finally, you sigh and step out onto the gravel driveway. As you walk around to the trunk to help with the suitcases, the cold night's air seizes you like a vice. Are you hungry? Charlie asks while you try to keep from shivering. All right. All right. Now that's a hard success. 23 versus 60. I don't know if you can even see that. All right. Now, am I hungry? Well, yeah, I think I'm hungry. You nod. Sure, hamburgers. Hamburgers it is. You take a brown grocery bag from the car's trunk, grab your suitcase, and walk to the cabin door. Charlie opens it up and steps inside. You follow, closing the door behind you to keep the chill out. The cabin isn't very big, just one central room with a double bed, chest of drawers, and a corner set up to serve as a kitchen. There's no microwave. Both the oven and stove use gas. You see two doors. One goes to the rear of the cabin while another leads to a small bathroom. You just know it's going to be freezing in there. The opposite wall of the bed is a TV and VCR unit sitting on top of a cupboard. The whole cabin is lit by muted yellow bulbs. It's not dark, but it's not quite light either. I'll be in the John, Charlie says, and steps inside the small bathroom and shuts the door. You are left alone. Put your suitcase in the bed, take out a few essentials, and move to the kitchen and unpack your groceries. There's a gas fridge and icebox that, judging from the steady and not at all soft humming emanating from it, was installed sometime in the 1970s. Yeah, I'm not going to wait for Charlie, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this started. You unpack ingredients for hamburgers. You find matches in a drawer, hold a lit one to the stove's gas burner, and turn the dial, Nothing happens. Damn it, you ignore the front left burner and use the front right instead. It lights up super quick. You've got patties frying and are chopping tomatoes when you hear the toilet flush. Charlie emerges from the bathroom soon after, sighing contentedly. Whew. Sorry, I've been holding on to that one since we left Pierre. How charming, you mutter. Charlie comes up behind you and wraps his arms around your waist. You feel their breath on your neck and the brush of a kiss against your cheek. I love you, Charlie whispers. Now, like I said, she wants this relationship to work, but she also realizes that, it's been failing and it's been rocky, it's been hard. So she's not going to respond with I love you. How do you want your burger? Medium, I guess. Okay, thanks. You stay in the kitchen. Charlie hovers uncertainly for a moment, then walks away and flops down on the bed. I'm so glad we're here. Me too. I think it'll be really good for us, Yeah. Like Dr. O'Brien told us, Charlie says, staring at the cabin's warped reflection in the mirror black TV screen. Getting away from everything to just focus on us will be great. I think it could be really healing. Alright, now in this game, you have to check certain things. I actually have a notepad here next to me where I am writing down, keeping track of these things. So I just took the Broken Heart achievement. So, yeah, you say with a faint smile. It'll be great, I know it. A few minutes pass, then you serve up the burgers. You and Charlie sit and eat silently. You find the cabin's nearby window strange. Outside, it's so dark that all you see is your own reflection. It's like looking into a mirror. What do you want to do tonight? You ask, mouth half full. Charlie raises an eyebrow. You roll your eyes. Seriously? Well, you want to go on a you want to go on a hike tomorrow, right? You nod. How about we just fire up a movie and take it easy? Charlie adjusts the TV. Sure, you say. Charlie grins and takes the dishes and heads over to the sink to clean them. You walk over to the TV unit. It's a relatively cheap model from the late 1980s, sitting on top of a dusty VCR player. Switch both on and open a cabinet beneath them, wondering what videos Charlie's brother and his wife left behind. He sure likes scary movies, you say, looking over the titles. 15 different tapes, and you're sure the covers pretty much every major slasher film of the last decade. God, none of these look good. It's not even a single comedy, Charlie asks from the kitchen. Make a spot hidden roll. Alright. Spot hidden. And that was a big old failure. You take out the tapes and go through them one by one, rolling your eyes and performatively gagging at each cover as you go. Charlie walks over and joins you. Maybe we should just have stopped by a Blockbuster on the way. You're telling me. These covers all look cheap. Think they're bootlegged? Probably, Charlie shrugs. He could have sworn he said there was more than just horror. He said they watched something that sounded like a chick flick last time they came up. Maybe it's still in the VCR. Charlie leans over and presses the eject button on the machine. There's the whirring of the mechanical internals, then the unit spits out a tape. Aha! Charlie says. Is it blank, you ask? Nothing written on it. But they're bootleg, right? You shrug. Whatever. Rewind it and we'll take our chances. Can't be worse than any of these. Now, to watch the movie or to get ready for bed first? I think she's going to get ready for bed first. You grab your bag with one hand and head for the bathroom. I'll be right back, you say, and slip inside. It's even colder in the bathroom. You set the bag on the sink and blink at your reflection staring back at you from a nearby mirror. The door creaks open just a little. You sigh and push it closed again, but it doesn't take. You look closer and see a little latch at head height. The door obviously can't hold itself shut unless it's locked. You roll your eyes, ignore the door, and brush your teeth. A few minutes later, you return to the main room and change while Charlie waits patiently on the bed. The movie's all set up. Pause at the beginning. You climb up onto the bed and settle in as well. Ready for the random, hopefully not horror film? Charlie asks. Sure am. Start it up. You smile and slip under the blankets. Charlie presses play on the remote. When the film begins, the screen is black. There's a faint music but no opening credits. Then the screen cuts to blurry footage that was clearly recorded on a handheld camera. Is this one of Mark's homemade movies? Charlie laughs and reaches for the remote. Oh, wow. I'm sorry. Wait a second, that looks familiar, you say, pointing at the TV. Charlie hesitates. On screen, you see a wall of tall forest trees. Leaves and pine needles crunch under the feet of whoever's filming. The camera pans across the landscape, creating a blur of greens and browns. Suddenly, you spot Mark's cabin, standing alone in its little clearing. The dull red sedan's parked just out front. That's Julie's car. This must have been after their wedding. The camera's shaky. Wind rushes against the microphone, causing a brief flurry of horrid scraping from the speakers. There's movement near the red car. A woman, Julie, is taking bags from the trunk. She's smiling. Yeah, Charlie says. This is at least 5, 6 years ago. Julie turns as the cabin door opens. Mark steps out, walks over, and takes one of the bags from her. They smile and exchange hurried words. You sit bolt upright. What the hell? What's wrong? It's only Mark. Yeah? So who's filming? Charlie stammers and blinks. On the screen, Mark and Julie go inside and close the door. The camera zooms in towards the window. The picture is a grainy blur of colors. You see movement in the cabin. The camera zooms even closer. Then harsh wind picks up and howls through the speakers. The image smashes to a slurry of loud static. White noise booms out into the room. The sound drills into your skull. You feel like it's gonna make your head explode. Okay. Make a sanity roll. I failed that sanity roll, so I lose 1 point of sanity. That sucks. But I'm just gonna cover my ears. You clamp your hands hard over your ears, but somehow the static still seeps in. Charlie, next to you, does the same. The lips are moving, but you can't tell what they're saying. You yell something about the remote, but even your own voice is lost, hidden beneath the TV's digital wailing. Charlie pulls one hand down and fiddles with the remote. The screeching continues. Charlie snarls, tosses the remote aside, and staggers over to the TV. You watch them go. The TV looks reflected somehow in the windows behind it. Pine trees stand guard on the black hills outside, but they're riddled with static. Riddled with static, static, static. Clamp your eyes shut. Charlie turns the dial on the TV and kills the noise. The screen goes black. A blaring ringer rings a little in your ear. What the hell was that? You ask. Charlie catches their breath for a moment and shrugs. I don't know. How the hell was it so damn loud? Top of the range speakers? You roll your eyes. Great. At least they're a Great. At least there's a top TV to watch a creepy peeping Tom video on. Oh, come on. That wasn't a peeping Tom. Charlie gestures to the TV cabinet. Why would Mark and Julie have the tape? Now to get frustrated or to stay calm. Realistically, the relationship has been on the rocks, so she's probably going to get frustrated. You sigh. Whatever, you always know best, right? Charlie frowns. What's that supposed to mean? Remember the car ride up, the way Charlie was reading the map while driving, refusing your help and getting lost over and over. Never mind, you say, then roll over in bed. Did you get the light? You don't want to watch a movie anymore? No, you say, and pull the blanket tight around yourself. I just want to sleep. Charlie sighs. Fine. You feel the bed shift as they stand. I just think that the TV set blares to life again. It bellows static throughout the cabinet. Thunderous scraping and coughing bounces off the walls. You thrash and cover your ears. Charlie swears, but you can hardly hear it. The noise builds to a frenetic. The noise builds to a frantic peak. It's almost unbearable. Then, just as quickly as it began, the noise stops and the TV falls silent. All the lights in the cabin go dead. The power is out. Charlie? You ask the darkness. Yeah? What was that? Power's out, I think. You hear scrambling in the darkness as Charlie shuffles along the floor, one hand touching the wall. They flick the light switch several times. I thought this place is on solar power. Well, I guess what power still runs out. Is there a backup or anything? I don't know. I guess I'll have to head into town and call Mark in the morning. Oh, that's just great. You pull your legs to your chest. Okay, whatever. You're not used to this level of dark. The city doesn't get dark like this. You raise your hand in front of your face. You can't even see its outline. You feel anxiety rising in your chest. I must go to 33. This cabin sucks. You shift around on the lumpy bed and try to get comfortable. Charlie joins you before long. The bed frame creaks when they settle into it. Babe, Charlie says. What? Are you going to sleep? What else am I supposed to do? Power is out and we're in the middle of the woods. Okay, sorry. Charlie rolls over. At least you think you do. It's hard to tell in the dark. After a few minutes, they speak again. Must just be an old shoddy TV. I think Mark has had it since the 80s. I don't care. Can we just make sure the power's back tomorrow? Yeah, I'll do everything I can. Fine. Good night then, you say. Good night. Charlie doesn't stay awake long. You hear their breathing slow quickly and fade into the gentle rumble of sleep. For you, sleep comes much later. Creaking of pines, the howl of cold wind, and other strange and unidentifiable sounds echo through the black hills around you. Your anxiety in your chest burns as you lie silently in the dark. It's a relief when you finally fall asleep. When you wake in the morning, you are alone. You stir in the bed and sit up. Babe? There's no answer. The only sound is the wind outside, carrying with it a gentle morning bird song. You get up and cross to the kitchen. There's a note taped to the chunky refrigerator, which is written in familiar handwriting. Sorry again. Just want this weekend to be special. Gone to town to get help fixing power. Back ASAP. Love you. You set the note down. Looks like you have a few hours to yourself. Now, eat or go for a walk? I'm just going to eat. You scrounge up some bacon and eggs. The split and sputter of cooking fat fills the kitchen. The leaden quiet out here is unsettling. More than once you make to turn the radio on before remembering that it won't work with the power out. You poke at your eggs idly with a spatula and slowly run your eyes across the room. You land on the dormant television set. Your heartbeat quickens. You frown. It's embarrassing how much that stupid videotape affected you. You roll your eyes and turn off the gas. You eat your hearty breakfast in silence. Once you're done and have washed the dishes, you realize you've got nothing else to do, so decide to go for a walk. Outside, the air is fresh, the sun is warm, and the sky is mostly clear. You'll fill your lungs with the scent of moist soil and pine trees. You take a few steps forward and peer down the driveway. It waves away into the woods. The trees are so thick here you'd probably have a better chance listening out for cars than looking for them. You turn and head down a walkway trail just by the cabin. The earth has been worn smooth by the hiking shoes of innumerable visiting families. Well, she is excited about this trip, so the nature surrounding you eats away at the stress layered into your being. You feel yourself truly smile for the first time in weeks. It happens without any effort on your part. It feels good. Close your eyes and turn your face to the sky. The fresh air and sunlight kiss your skin. It's glorious. Off to your left, you hear running water. You open your eyes and look towards the source of the sound. It's coming from just off the trail you've been walking along. Sounds peaceful enough. We'll go investigate. You step off the trail and strike through the forest towards the sound of running water. The ground is uneven as you steady yourself on the trunks of nearby pines you go. You walk for a little while until the sound of the water gets louder. You crest a small ridge and discover a bubbling stream just on the other side. The water is rushing downhill fast, headed south. It's clear and fresh. The trickling sound is melodic. He's going to sit and enjoy. carefully walk down to the riverbank. Loose leaves and pine needles wash downstream in a tiny rendition of whitewater rafting. Setting yourself against a tree, you sit down on the riverbank, lean back, and close your eyes. The breeze brushes across on your face and hair. You admire the way the sunlight paints the inside of your eyelids red and yellow. Make a listen roll. All right. Critical success. 1 versus 50. Beyond the stream, between the trees, you hear twigs snapping. You stiffen and stand up tall. Suddenly, a deer emerges from the tree line, steps slowly towards the stream, and spots you, freezes, and stares. The water running between you and the deer is the only thing that moves. You are both completely still, watching each other. You notice one of the deer's eyes is swollen with pus and blood. Make a natural world roll. Natural world is a skill that not everybody has, but Alex does. Still not great. However, while pushing a roll is always an option in Call of Cthulhu, I am almost considering spending luck. That is 11 points of luck, though. So, no. Neither gonna push or spend luck. Deer in the wild must encounter all kinds of weird health problems. You have no idea what's afflicting this creature. It could be one of 1,000 things. In any case, it doesn't seem particularly bothered by your presence. As you're standing gawking, it suddenly turns and bolts into the woods, leaving you alone. Creepy. You better get back to the trail. You hit the trail and push forward, heading farther down the black hills and deeper into the forest. It's a pleasant hike. Sunlight filters through pine branches and casts up dancing shadows all around you in the cool morning air. After a half hour or so, you feel nature calling and step behind a tree to pee. You're fumbling with your clothes when you spot something. Ahead, off the trail and nestled in a narrow valley, is a dilapidated wooden shed. Well, no, I'm going to investigate that shed. It's kind of creepy and weird. I'm curious. You step to the small clearing where the shed leans lopsided against a rocky, moss-ridden mountain wall. It's not large, maybe half the size of Mark and Julie's cabin. It's made entirely of wood. A rotting piece of pine serves as a makeshift door. It's only just still hanging from the frame. The place looks like nobody has been here in years. You step closer to the shed and put your hand against the door. It swings in slowly and easily. The shed is dark inside. You see the faint shadowy blotches of furniture hidden in the gloom. Okay. It's dark in there. Really dark. If your partner was here, you know they'd make fun of you for being a little scared of the dark. What of it, though? What's wrong with that? So you're sometimes scared of the dark. Well, this little shed is dark. So you don't want to go inside. Is that so bad? Make a sanity roll. Success. You steel yourself and gaze resolutely at the foreboding shed. So what? It's dark inside, But outside it's bright as hell and so small you'd never be more than 2 steps from the door anyway. Yeah, entering the shed. The only light in the shed comes from the open door and a few cracks in the uneven weather-bound walls. There's no windows. It's like this place is designed to be gloomy. You see a small workbench, a wall-mounted cupboard, and a stack of cardboard boxes. The rest of the furniture is mildewy and unremarkable. The floorboards creak beneath you as you walk across the room. Okay. Now, this is Call of Cthulhu, so you better bet I'm going to be investigating. So to search the cupboard, 58. The cupboard hangs precariously from a dilapidated wall. It has a stressful forward tilt gripped by gravity. You see a few rusted nails securing it in place. You carefully open the doors. Within are 2 little shelves, both lined with videotapes. They're home tapes like the one Mark had, with white stickers on the front marked by black Sharpies. The tapes are all caked with moss and spider webs. Make a spot hidden roll. Um, 75 or 35. Okay, that's quite a bit. But I'm going to try pushing it. And I still failed. Unfortunately, I can't spend luck on that push roll, even if I wanted to. Okay. You stand at the open cupboard door for a few minutes, staring at the tapes within. They all have weird names, each scrawled in the same hand. You note a few. The sun with the trees, hoping it erupts, the way she moves in the night, and the cry of the children. You're tilting your head, considering them, when you hear a noise outside. It's the unmistakable sound of a car engine. The sound bounces off the mountain face, dancing in the echoes of the forest. Your partner is returning, at last, and with them, the power must be coming on. You abandon your investigation, dash out of the shed, and run back up the forest trail. Do not investigate anything else. You're out of breath when you arrive back at the cabin. The sun is high in the sky. It's late morning and soon to be afternoon. You're panting, legs thrumming, warm from the run back up the trail. All throughout your jog back, the sound of an approaching car echoed in your ears. It is replaced now by your heaving breaths. You lean forward and rest your weight on your knees. Seconds drag by. You can't hear the car anymore. Did you imagine it? There is no sign of any change. You're still without your partner. You're still without power. Disappointment and a tiny bit of fear washes over you. After a few minutes, you shake your head clear and head inside. Everything is well lit by the late morning glow. You change out of your walking clothes and leave them on the bed, and head into the bathroom to shower. You must lose one sanity automatically without a roll. Oh, I gotta love that. Now, to go take a shower. Water cascades into the waiting tub below, filling the room with a constant loud drizzle that is almost like white noise. The pressure is lousy without power to the pump, but gravity does most of the work. Thank God the water heater is gas powered. You wash your face and scrub clean the pores in your nose. You turn around in the shower to scrub your back. You pause. Just ahead, the door to the bathroom is wide open. You're certain you closed it. Shut the shower off and step out, grabbing a towel and wrapping it around you. Honey, is that you? Call out, but there's no reply. You stand in the empty cabin. Nothing. You're alone. Make a sanity roll. And I failed. Ooh, 91 versus 48. Ouch. Someone here? Windows are closed. Are you going mad? You were sure you shut the door. You remember doing it. You look at the television set, sitting there, stoic and quiet, acting like it hadn't burst your eardrums the night before. This place sucks. The door probably swung open itself. Everything in this cabin is dodgy. That's gotta be it. You hope you're right. Time to get dressed. Oh, thankfully, no, oh, there he goes. Lose one sanity. You stretch, roll your head around a few times to work the tired muscles, and head over to the bed and open your suitcase. You purse your lips and consider how you're feeling. Okay. Practical or comfortable? Ah, she's gonna be comfortable. Go to 93. Freshly dressed, you feel renewed. Now, what to do with the afternoon while you wait for your partner to return? Hopefully, they have a solution to the power problem. No. What am I gonna do? More food. Search for flashlights and batteries. Yeah, I'm gonna search for flashlights and batteries. Now, if I was a guy, I would not be searching for flashlight and batteries because when we lose power at home, my wife always makes me look for flashlights and batteries. So I know that she's probably gonna want to. Alex is gonna concern herself with that. You know there was a heavy duty flashlight in the car, but it's gone now. What do you have here in the cabin? Right now, when the sun goes down, you'll be left in the dark. Again, spot hidden. Apparently, she's not great at this. Failed. However, that's just 2 points. I'm going to spend some luck to make that a success. I have to spend 2 points of luck to make that 37 or 35. In the cupboard beneath the sink, you find a little plastic container with a mini flashlight in it. You switch it on. It works, but the beam is weak. The batteries are probably dying. You look for spares in the pantry, the bathroom, and in the bedside tables. Eventually, your gaze settles on the TV cabinet. You cross the cabinet to the television and perch on your knees in front of it. You open the cabinet and scan over the videotapes. You move some of them aside to look deeper into the cabinet. In the dark, right at the back, you find a blister pack of batteries. They must be kept here for the remote controls, but they fit the flashlight. Jackpot. You swap the batteries out. The beam becomes much stronger. Now, all that done, time to eat. You head to the kitchenette. You're glad the fridge and stove are powered by gas. You cook up a meal, then enjoy it alone at the little dining table. Okay. Well, it was enough. It proves that nothing in this cabin is the greatest. So, it's going to be unenthusiastic about it. The woods are lonely, dark, and deep. You're here alone in a cabin with no power, kidding yourself that everything will be fine. So long as the sun remains up, you're able to keep yourself fooled. But you know with every passing minute that the sun is edging closer to the horizon line, racing to leave you in darkness. Okay. Man, another sanity roll. I know what this game likes to do. And I failed. Lose. Sanity. It's kind of hard to see. I don't know if I can move this. But I am rolling dice here on the screen as well. But time to lose 1 point of sanity because this game is eating it away. Batteries. Gonna move on and be bored. You can't think of anything else to do in the cabin, and restlessness is creeping in. For a while, you lie on the sofa and read an old beat up paperback from a shelf in the corner. You think it's pretty good, but a little flowery and overwritten. Not to mention how grating prose writing in the second person can be. Make a listen roll. Make a listen. Stream success, 4 out of 50. You hear footsteps outside. They crunch on the gravel driveway. You sit up. You didn't hear a car approach. You stand up nervously and creep across to the window. A balding, middle aged man is standing just outside the front door. He's dressed in a thick winter coat and has his hands in his pockets. You do not recognize him. He lifts his hand to the cabin door and knocks. Okay, now. How is she gonna deal with this? She's gonna pretend no one's home. She's gonna go silent. You wait a few moments, then you hear him step away from the door. You move to the window and look out. You see him leaving. He doesn't head down the driveway. He takes the trail that leads into the forest. The same trail you went walking on earlier. Now am I gonna follow? Or just close and lock the door? Again, this is Call of Cthulhu, and the investigator is curious. You step out of the cabin and watch as the stranger strides down the forest trail. You follow him, crunching along the same stones you trod on earlier this morning. You can't help but feel like what you're doing is dangerous. Yeah, dangerous, alright, but gonna do it anyway. You hurry after the stranger. You follow behind him through the woods. You're not far away, but he doesn't seem to pay attention to you. Okay. Stealth. I succeeded without needing my bonus die. I'm gonna do it anyway. This. It's the same exact roll. Alright, so. $144. You stoop down and step carefully, avoiding sticks and branches to silence your pursuit. The man gets a little farther in front, but you don't lose sight of him. After a few minutes, he hesitates. You bob down low. The stranger looks about over his shoulder and steps off the forest trail and walks deeper into the woods. Now, I'm really curious. The night keeps getting darker. You follow the stranger between the shadowy pine trees. The forest floor quietly crunches beneath your feet. He still hasn't seen you. He leads you down the side of the Black Hills into a narrow valley where the forest floor plateaus and pine-coated ridges rise around you in all directions. The sun slowly starts to dip below the lip of the horizon. The shadows around you lengthen. I've come this far. You continue to follow. The sun sets and it grows dark. Finally, the stranger walks into a small clearing. In the center, there is a mound of freshly turned earth. You watch from the tree line. He stands in the middle of the clearing, hidden by long shadows. His hands hang by his sides. You shouldn't have come here, he says. You seize up. The man turns slowly and looks at you. You're not supposed to be here. Okay. Creepy. I'm gonna apologize and I'm gonna try to leave. Sorry, you say, stepping out from the tree. I'm sorry, I'll go now, okay? I'll leave. He shakes his head. It's too late for that. No, it's not, you say. I'm going now. I'll just go back to my cabin and forget all this. He stares at you. Okay? He opens his mouth and opens it wide. Teeth of the back of his throat are black. He sticks his tongue out. It's broad and flat. He screams, and when he does, he bellows. The sound is harrowing. It's not a regular scream. It's an amalgam of human bellowing and a howling static that racks your brain, impossibly loud. Make a sanity roll. Hard success. Okay. Creepy, but man oh man. clamp your hands over your ears. You wince. You can feel the static in your head. Blood drips from inside your ears, pooling in the palms of your hands. Whatever this is, it's horrendous, confounding, but somehow tempting. It's like there's a voice hitting in the static. A voice you cannot quite hear. I'm going to take 1 damage. I'm going to make a run for it. No, no. You stumble away, clutching your head and make for the tree line. A terrible sharp pain blossoms in the base of your skull. It makes your vision blur. You reach the trees and stagger blindly into the woods. Make a navigate roll. Success. Awesome. Hands still clamped around your head, you run as fast as you can for safety. You can feel blood leaking from your ears, pooling in your hands as you go. You dash past trees, jump over logs, and duck underneath branches. Acting totally on instinct, you manage to pick out the path you took and follow it back. It takes longer than you expected, but you finally find your way back to the forest trail and back to Mark's cabin. It stands serenely in the dark. There's still no car in the driveway. You make it into the cabin and slam the door shut. Once you're sure it's locked, you slide down the wall and sit, head cradled in your hands. You're shaking. That was awful. Utterly, unspeakably awful. Now what? What the heck are you meant to do? Seconds drag by, then minutes, then hours. You stay hidden in the cabin. You prowl through it, peeking outside every now and again, but there's no sign of your partner, and no sign of danger either. You think about making a break for it out into the woods, but you know that the stranger's probably just outside watching, waiting for you to try. You feel lost. Then, suddenly, the TV turns on. Maybe the power's back. Alright, now, I have the option of either turning on the lights or going to inspect the TV. Turning the lights might alert something outside that this is where Alex is. Just going to the TV, not necessarily going to be bad. You hurry over to the television. You hit the power button. Nothing changes. The screen remains turned to the VCR, displaying slightly illuminated black. It's quiet. The VCR is purring. The TV is dim. Now, what am I to do? I'm just going to go to 223. Not going to mess with it. You turn away from the television set and cross over to the bed. You sit down and try to avoid looking at it. You can hear it humming, ever so softly. Now go to sleep. Go to 255. Go outside and look for Charlie. Go to 224. I want this day to be over. Gotta go to sleep. You crawl into the covers without bothering to get changed. At least here it's warm. You set the flashlight by the side of the bed and switch it off. Then you curl up around your pillow, listen to the sound of the wind outside, and wait to fall asleep. You wake. You're not sure how long you were asleep, but it's cold. You sit up, and even in the darkness, you can see that the cabin door is wide open. You must not have locked it. Take the flashlight from the bedside table. You swing your legs out of bed and stand up. You turn on the light to guide you to the open door. The flashlight lands on a man standing in the kitchen. He is haggard and breathing heavy, eyes wide. Your eyes light in shock. What the hell? You gasp, half in anger, half in terror. The man doesn't answer. He screeches at the top of his lungs and lunges at you. The stranger's bigger than you. He is crazed, wild, and violent. He thrashes at you with empty hands at the air around him as he crosses the room in large, rapid strides, closing the distance. Okay. Now. To attack him or to run. No, try to run. That's kind of what the hell. You weave sideways and try to slip out of the stranger's reach. Make a dodge roll. Dodge. 28 versus 32. You duck under the stranger's wildly swinging fists. He stumbles past you, carried by the force of his blow, and almost tumbles over the bed. You end up behind him, just by the open cabin door. And then Alex is running. Alex is running. You dash out into the night, running as far and fast as your body can manage. The cold air burns your lungs. The surrounding trees sound alien as they rustle, making you all the more terrified. Every few minutes, you emerge from the trees to a section of dirt road. You keep praying that you'll see your partner's car arriving, but deep in your soul, you know it won't come. After almost an hour of mad flight, you come to a crossroads. You recognize it from your journey up to the cabin. You're not sure which direction leads to the highway and which leads deeper into the woods. The forest feels inescapable. Make a navigate roll. Oh, look at that failure. 88 over 40. You pick one path and follow it. You race along it for almost an hour. Even after all this time, you're not sure if you've gone the right way. The woods around you are endless. The hills are treacherous. Before long, you lose your bearing. It doesn't matter if you took the right way or wrong way at the crossroads. You get tangled up in your own hurried flight and lose all sense of direction. Everything here is identical. Just great looming black shapes, any of which you can feel suddenly decide to come to life, loom down and devour you. This isn't right. It isn't right. Make a sanity roll. Still a success. 45 on 40 versus 46. Barely scraped by in that one. Panic's not going to help you get out of these woods. You force yourself to take a few deep breaths and slow your racing heart. You turn, pick a random direction, and start walking determinedly. It's impossible to tell if you made the right call. Your flashlight is the only way to see your surroundings. The only thing you can tell is the forest is quieter here. Time passes. Eventually you start to tire. You're also getting seriously cold. You lean against a tree and catch your breath. You try to catch your breath, but it doesn't seem to work. Your hand slides down to the base of the tree and you collapse down against its roots. You suck air over and over. Your lungs feel icy, despite the horrible situation you find yourself in. Your eyelids feel heavy. You're not sure how long you wait, but it is some time until you feel as though you can get back to your feet. You stand slowly, teeter, but manage to forge on. Right now, you just need to put distance between yourself and the chaos you escaped from. When the sun rises, you'll be able to reassess, begin to find your way back to civilization. Pine needles and dirt crunch under your feet as you walk. You make progress, but with every step you feel yourself growing wearier. You need to find somewhere to rest. Maybe some high ground would be good, or should you look for a grotto? Anywhere sheltered would be best, right? Just as you spot a cluster of trees where it looks like you'll be able to rest and stay dry, you hear a faint hiss from behind you. Was it static? Was the sound static? Adrenaline surges through your system. Now, at this point, she's just running. She's going to continue to run. No, no. You don't stop to think. You take off at a sprint and race into the forest. You resist the urge to call out for help because you know that none is coming. Ahead of you, moonlight just barely reveals a jagged pathway littered with sharp rocks and treacherous tree roots. Try your best to avoid them. And your flashlight goes dead. You shout in frustration and try to shake the damn thing to wake it up. It doesn't work. You're almost blind when you hit the uneven ground. With every step, you risk falling and breaking your neck. Make a luck roll. And I failed my luck roll. Your flashlight blinks out just as you reach the uneven ground. You shout in frustration, but there's no time to slow down. You rush blindly forward through the woods. For a while. Is that the shit I want? Your flashlight blinks out just as you reach the uneven ground. You shout in frustration, but there's no time to slow down. You rush blindly forward through the woods. For a while, dumb luck keeps you from slipping. Then the tip of your foot hooks against the lip of some gnarled tree root, and you go staggering forward. Make a dex roll. Hard success. 18 over 65. For a terrifying second, you're falling through the air. Then you slap one foot down, find your balance, and catch a hold of a passing tree trunk to stay standing. The recovery hardly slows you down. You keep running forward right away, putting as much distance as possible between you and the strange danger that's following. Keep jogging forward for as long as you can. Just as you're about to stop to catch your breath, you suddenly break through the trees and emerge, blinking, into a large moonlit clearing. Without the pine trees hiding the light, you can see much more clearly here. The clearing you've wandered into isn't very large, but somebody has set up inside it. You see a small tent next to a dormant fire pit. Maybe you found help. You made a lot of noise when you pushed the trees into the clearing. Something inside rustles. You've clearly woken up whoever's inside. Hello? A timid voice calls out. The tent flap unzips and an unfamiliar man steps out into the moonlight. He's fully clothed. He looks towards you, hesitates, then nods. You notice that his eyes show no sign of surprise. He's going to be polite. Hello? You call out. You struggle to keep terror or anger from creeping into your voice. The man approaches you. He's smiling. Don't worry, the man says and holds his hands up. Empty palms turned towards you. It's okay. I'm your friend. His voice is small and falls eerily. His eyes are wide with excitement. You look around, but there's nothing in the clearing that gives you any new insight into what's going on. What's happening? You ask. You don't expect a real answer, but to your surprise, you get one. I'm someone who can hear it, the man says, then lowers his hands. Hear what? The child. What? The child of the forest. You've heard it too. I know you have. When it weeps, it sounds like static, you say. The man smiles. Yes, I knew it. You have heard it. You hesitate. Alex, he says. You freeze. How do you know who I am? The child told me. It just wants a family, Alex. That's what we can give it. A voice in the static, you ask. The child. Yes. No, alright, now, several options. Okay. What is the child? You keep calling it a child, you say. What actually is it? The man smiles. Something ancient. I know, a strange name for one so old. I believe it was birthed from Mother Earth herself. It exists alone, in the wild places of the world. It's lonely and aching. Now to find out what the child wants. The child, you say, it wants a family? The man nods. It spent uncountable years alone. It sees past, present, and future. It has tried so desperately to adapt to the technology of our world, but has failed. It just wants people to be with it. Here, in its home. He gestures around. How does the stranger know all this? It is a burden, this knowledge, the man smiles. I came to this place years ago. Brought my camera. I wanted to document the wild, but I found something far more important to document. Something beyond comprehension. I found that the child could somehow manipulate the magnetic particles in my videotapes to show me visions of the future. He smiles wide. And so far, they have all come to pass. The child exists beneath the earth, in the soil, in the trees, and in the pine needles at our feet. The power of the earth all around it lets it smell and taste and touch anyone who encounters it, whether they already have or not. What do you mean, you ask? It sees the future. For the child, there is only now, and now is everything all at once. It's why I was waiting for you, he says. In my time here, the child has shown me many things, all stored in my tapes. I've kept them and labeled them and tried to categorize them best I could. To ask if he's the man who's been visiting the cabin. You. Are you the guy I've seen around? He pauses, thinking. It may have been me, or rather, a version of me. What? I've given myself to the child, he says. I'm in its family now. If it wishes, the child can take my form. Indeed, the child takes many forms, those of its victims, past and future. Alright, now, do I say that the man is talking nonsense, or do I just try to get the hell out? Talking nonsense. You shake your head. This is nonsense. Trust me, he pleads. I was doubting at first as well, but the child showed me I could have so much more. He steps toward you, and you step back. I need to leave. Wait! Alex recognizes Charlie's voice. You spin away from the man. There, standing on the edge of the clearing, is Charlie. Their clothes are flaked with mud and dirt, and there are twigs caught in their hair. But they're here. They're alive. They're smiling at you. Honey, they say. It's okay. To run at Charlie with open arms. You dash across the clearing and cling to Charlie. Oh my god, I've been so worried. You hold them close against you. Charlie hugs you back. I know you have. Don't worry. Everything is going to be okay now. We're all together now. You feel Charlie's hand stroking the back of your head. You pull away. You don't have time for this right now. Charlie, where's the car? We must get out of here. We have to go now. Charlie looks back at you sadly and shakes her head. No, honey, we can't go. We have to stay here. The way Charlie speaks is all wrong. Standing closer now, you notice 1,000 subtle details that don't fit with the person you know. This isn't Charlie. I know you're nervous. I'll try to explain everything, but I just don't think there's much point. They raise their arms and open them wide. I'll just show you. You can't bring yourself to answer. Your mouth just opens and shuts, like a fish's. Charlie watches you for a long time, then bows their head. Your heart drops. I need you, Alex, Charlie's voice says, but this time it comes from behind you. You spin around and see that the man who crawled out of the tent, body in chains, is now wearing Charlie's face. There's two of them now. They're on either side of you. I need you like I needed Charlie, they say, and when they speak, their voices merge, overlay, and bleed static. You're here now. We can't be together. We three, we four, all of us. Please come with me. Make a sanity roll. Oh, 42. That's awesome. So I don't lose the D6 of sanity. Now, Alex is not having any of this, so I'm getting out of here. No, you say. I don't want that. What? I don't care what you or anybody else says about the child. I want to go home. I want to leave. You see your partner's face fall. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry I couldn't make it painless. Your partner's face bulges. Pine needles sprout from their cheeks and emerge covered in blood. Their mouth opens and a thick fleshy tentacle laced with pale blue veins and coated in saliva unfurls. You hear your partner's voice screaming. The child is given form. From its flesh emerges a true manifestation. A dozen more voices join the noise. They're laughing, shrieking, and crying. They're chanting something. A name. You repeat it again and again. Oosh, teek, ah. Oosh, teek, ah. Your partner steps closer. Clothing slows away from their body as their chest spills open into sphincter-like maw, from which echoes a horrid, swarming hail of static. Now to run or to fight? Still, gonna run. You take one last look at your partner's body. It's disintegrating, turning into something foul before your eyes. There is nothing left you can do for them. Doesn't matter how you feel about them, what you wanted for them, some greater force decided for you. All you can do now is run. Race for the edge of the clearing. You can make it if you run fast enough. You hear the warped sound of your partner's voice calling after you, but don't turn to look back. Then you hear heavy slamming footsteps fast approaching. Make a dex roll. Success. You run through the forest. You jump logs, duck under low-hanging branches, deftly avoid the moss-ridden stones. For a while you hear the sounds of pursuit, but terror, rage, and anguish pushes you to run for far longer than you have ever before. Eventually, the sounds of pursuit fade. You keep running, tear streaming down your face. You run for hours. You only stop when the sun rises. By the light of the new day, you find your way through the trees back to a main road. You walk, haggard, for hours. Sometime in the mid-afternoon, when the autumn sun is beginning to dip, you are picked up by a passing trucker. He stares at you curiously and asks repeatedly if you are all right. You never answer him. You ask to be dropped in the center of town, but he drops you at the police station. Doesn't matter. It'll do. You head inside. Days pass in a blur of hospital visits, police reports, and soul-sucking interviews with smiling psychologists who assure you they're only there to help. Search teams go into the Black Hills to try and find your partner. They don't find anyone, but you never really thought they would. You do eventually find your car. Even though it has your license plate, the searchers say it can't have been the same vehicle. It was rusted, covered in moss, and looked as though it had been abandoned in the forest for years. You find no reprieve, even arrest. When you sleep, you dream only of the forest, the lonely trees, the wet soil, and the endless night sky. But there's a strange budding warmth in your belly. It makes everything seem fine. Somewhere out there is screaming, a chanting. The wind that unsettles the trees, the breeze makes the pine needles dance across the forest floor. Then there's the static. A cacophony of sound running together, blending to create a long, all-encompassing drone. It fills your head, your very being. The static is all. Then, suddenly, the warmth in your stomach explodes. Your flesh tears, yet there's no pain nor blood. You watch in horror as the gnarled branches of some ancient tree emerge from your stomach, all while twisted roots encircle your bones, crushing and cracking them. You try to scream, but only static emerges. The static fills you and everything around you. The last thing you are aware of is the endless sea of stars above you, the cold stars, and darkness. The darkness lifts. The light of dawn begins you to wake. You don't recall how much time has passed. It might be years later, or it could be years earlier. Somewhere in the forgotten wild, you stir. You see the ancient forest around you. The pine needles feel like carpet on the ground. It's all warm and familiar. The wind flutters through the Black Hills to a place where no bears, rabbits, or birds ever tread. Trees shiver in the final moments of summer beneath the moist earth. You shift. Dead branches and fresh soil fall away from you as you emerge. Human again, you rise from the damp earth and breathe. You blink and hear the call of your master. The child awaits you. You have successfully completed the story and have been born to serve the child, as you will again and again for all eternity. The end. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I plan on doing it again with Alex and with Charlie. Now, maybe she'll be a little more feisty the next time. All right, well, thanks everyone for watching. If you like this sort of content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think maybe she should have done something different. All right. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.